Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate. It does it with Barb Schlinker. She's the owner of Your Home Sold, Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, one of the biggest challenges for home sellers is that classic real estate catch 22, having a house to sell before they buy their next home. So, how do homeowners that need to sell their house to buy their next home have certainty that their house will sell when they want, and then they go ahead and move into another home?
Well, it's an interesting and the biggest real estate dilemma. How am I going to make this happen where I move from one home to the next? A lot of people don't like the idea of having to move twice or having to move their household into storage and wait until they buy their next home. That makes it very uncomfortable for a lot of people, and it's probably not the best idea. But they need their net proceeds to buy their next home. There's the other fear that their home might sell too fast and they have no place to go. So it's a very delicate dance, and we help people with this process. Now, number one, best case scenario for most folks is just to sell the home, or at least, at the very least, get under contract. What do I mean by that? If you go and make an offer on another home when your home is under contract, first of all, you're in a much better negotiating position. You can probably negotiate the price on the home that you're buying. And you're coming from hey, I have a house to sell, but I've got a buyer and we're moving towards the closing. So it's a better situation than going to a home seller and going, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, will you take your house off the market and wait for me to sell my home, which is not even on the market yet? Though many times when I ask home sellers, how do you feel about somebody asking you that question? Can I tie up your home and will you wait for me to sell my home? What would you think of that, Richard?
I would think that I want somebody like you asking that question or answering that question. That's exactly my position because I don't think the average seller or buyer really even understands enough of this to be doing it themselves.
Right. And that's a really tricky problem because you might be tying up your home and then maybe they can't sell their home or maybe they don't price it right. It could have any one of these things. So if you're under contract, the chances of the deal falling out are fairly low. So then it's okay to accept a contingency on the closing of a home. But if it's not even on the market, it's a problem. So what is a sale contingency? Basically is, hey, will you take, I want to make an offer on your home, but it's contingent on me selling mine. Now, if your house is currently under contract and or currently on the market, getting lots of showings, chances of it going through are pretty good. Another problem people have is not having their destination lined up. That could really be an issue because with me, especially, some people fear I'm going to sell their home too fast. And then they're like, oh, then where am I going to go? So that's a concern too. So you want to make sure you at least have an idea on where you're going to go and have a couple of options out there just in case. There are some protections that we could put in the contract to protect the seller, like, hey, once we accept a contract, give us 10 days while we shop for our home, or 5 days even. Most buyers will accept that. But I've had some home sellers that would actually rent a home waiting for their home to be built. Or I've had some home sellers that maybe are moving into an RV temporarily until they make their next move. So there's a lot of different options out there, and you want to make sure you have a plan on where you're going to go. But to make an offer contingent on your home selling definitely does put you in a little bit weaker negotiating position. It puts a lot of pressure on you. And sometimes you might make unreasonable concessions in that case. Now, there are some really cool special financing programs out there. You could pull equity out of your current home and buy your next home. And I've just discovered that there are some of those programs in which you don't have to qualify for a payment. You just have to have equity in the home. And there are some organizations that will front you the money. They'll charge for that money, and it's based on the equity of your home. So you don't have to qualify for two homes. So that's kind of a good thing. And it protects you from worrying about interest rates going up. So there's a lot of choices out there. And then there's also a lot of options out there as well. Like you could take a cash offer as well. My name is Barb Schlinker. I am the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. And I've been here in the real estate market since the 90s. I've seen a lot of markets come and go. I've seen a lot of different situations appear on the market. So I've seen quite a bit. And I really enjoy sharing my experiences with you on this show to help you better understand the real estate process. I am the host of this show, Your Real Estate Voice. And right now we're talking about really what do we do and how can we get multiple cash offers on our home? And we're going to go into some more detail about that in the next segment. When we come back, we're going to talk about some of our high net worth cash buyers and some other options so that you can make that transition in a very easy, smooth, and on time manner. And if you are thinking of making a move, in the next 3 to 6 months and you'd like to talk with us and kind of find out what we do and get a free in-home consultation on what to do, what not to do to get your house ready for sale, we'll take a look at your home. We'll give you some tips on what to do, what not to do. We'll go over all the closing costs, give you a really good idea on what you'll put in your pocket when it sells, and then we can go from there. Or you could go to barbhasthebuyers.com and find out all kinds of good information about real estate, or give us a call at 719-301-3900. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice. That's Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You can always reach her, 719-301-3900. And we're talking with Barb about how sellers can trade up to a new home. So, Barb, what are some other things that a seller can do if they need to sell a house before they buy their next one?
Well, give us a call. I mean, I have quite a few people that don't want to deal with everybody traipsing through their home and judging their home and all the work that it takes to prepare your home for sale and decluttering. I had one of my clients call the stager a clutter Nazi, which I thought was funny. But he's like, I'm not ready for her. I'm not ready for her. But he ultimately did have the appointment. Real funny guy. And so that's a big hassle, getting everything ready and having garage sales and decluttering your home. There's some people that just want to get an offer as is, no hassle. Tell me when I have to move and I'm going to get out. And so there actually are investors that will purchase homes under those terms. They don't care about how pretty the home is. They're going to make an offer that's more than likely less than full market value than what you could get if you went for top dollar competing with all the live in your home type buyers. So the cash offer buyers many times are coming in at a certain percentage below current market value for that convenience of not having to fix up the home, not having to deal with a bunch of random buyers come through your house, not have to deal with open houses, all those options. Like I had a listing recently in which we were prepared basically to go on the market and make the house look pretty. But when he started looking for his destination home, his destination seller said, hey, because we already had right out of the gate, we had some cash offers on this home. And they said, hey, if you take one of those cash offers, I'll make sure you get into this home at this price. And where he was moving to was a highly, highly competitive market. So it was a solution for him that basically we got him a cash buyer. He could close when he wanted. He didn't have to deal with a bunch of strangers coming through his house. He didn't have to make his house pretty. And they took it as is for cash on the date that he said. So if you're curious about that and you'd like to get a cash offer on your home and not deal with the whole traditional sale program, go to barbhasthecashoffers.com and we can definitely help you with that. Another option is, what if you don't have to sell your home to buy your next home? So there's a lot of people out there that think that they have to sell their home. And of course, it's more convenient to sell their home first, because then they'll have their net proceeds to move on to their next home. But particularly with the military that have the benefit of the VA loan, there are many people that think that they can use their VA loan only once or one at a time. And that's actually not true. You can use your VA in one place and go 50 miles and still have your VA loan on that house and use it again on another house. You just have to have a reason for making that move. So it is possible to take advantage of that benefit and get lower interest rates and buy a home, no money down. So if you don't have to sell, it is an option to be able to get qualified to buy your next home, move at your pace, and then sell your home afterwards on your time schedule at your convenience, without having the stress of, oh my God, what if my house doesn't sell? I'm going to be in trouble. And then we also offer what we call a guaranteed sale program. And so the way this works is we can actually make offers on your home so that you could go buy your next home without a sale contingency. And that way, we still put the home on the market. We still try to get you top dollar, but you actually have the benefit of getting the best of both worlds. You get top dollar and a guaranteed offer. And we just did that for Matt and Teresa's home, and it worked out really, really well. They moved into a brand new home. We still kept it on the market. We still got a better offer, a live in their home buyer, and they were able to buy their brand new home without having to sell their current home. And did you know that there's a huge percentage of buyers out there that have a house to sell? Most real estate agents don't have a solution for them, but we do. We can guarantee the sale of their home so they can buy your home without a sale contingency. And then you don't have to worry about it. So if you want to find out about our cash offer buyers, our 64 high net worth cash offer buyers, or our guaranteed sale program, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, you and your team are the only company I would even recommend to people out there thinking of selling their homes or downsizing to a smaller home. A lot of people thinking about doing that. How do they get more information?
Well, if you just give us a call, I've got a staff on 7 days a week. Call us at 719-301-3900, and we'll be able to get back to you. Or sometimes if they're in the office, they'll answer the phone and answer all your questions. Or you can, if you're not ready yet, go to barbhasthebuyers.com. You can even go to my YouTube channel, Barb Has the Buyers, and check out. There's all kinds of information. I have a whole video series on what to fix and what not to fix when selling your home. And actually, that's going to be our next topic that we're going to talk about. And then we also have all kinds of information about some of the things that happen on inspection that are really exciting, some of the crazy things that I've seen take place, just to get you prepared. I just recently had a home seller that attended an inspection, and I told him, I said, don't be surprised if that inspector comes up to you and asks you to leave your own home. And he didn't believe it was going to happen. And sure enough, the inspector came up and said, okay, Mr. Seller, now you have to leave. And the seller was prepared for it. And he goes, no, that's not how it's going to work. I'm going to stay and you're going to leave, which I thought was great. So, but he was ready for it. And if I don't prepare these sellers for some of the crazy stuff that happens, they get really kind of upset, but an inspector cannot order you to leave your own home. So those are some of the things that we talk about on our YouTube channel, just to get you fully informed before you wade into selling one of your largest assets. Richard?
Barb, there's just so much to it. You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. She's the host of the program, and if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be discussing what not to fix when you're selling your home. Plus, we'll talk about Barb's hot new listings. You don't want to miss any of those.